All right, all right, all right. Let's see if we're live. Hold on just a second. View on YouTube. Bringing up the stream right now to see if it's coming through. Make sure the audio is coming through okay before I start getting into it. Oh, let's see what happens. See what's going on. Oh, there we go. Yes, yes. Excellent. All right, everybody out there can hear me. Fantastic. Everybody, welcome. It is once again Saturday night. This is the artist known as Andrew speaking, and we are live streaming. Yes, yes. Fantastic. Let's see who all's here. Give me a second. Let me increase the size of my screen so I can actually read. Now, I'm not sure what's happened. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it seems like the camera has zoomed in on me more than normal. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm using the computer I'm the camera in the computer, and I haven't adjusted anything. It's just so much closer now, which I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. Well, hold on. I'm playing around with some of the settings here. Let me see. Camera, mirror your camera, touch up my appearance. That's really not going to work, is it? Standard definition, high definition. Oh no. Oh, last thing we want to do is break the internet. Low. Okay, well, we'll go high definition just for the heck of it. Okay, so now that seems better. I don't know what I did. All I did was I just changed one setting. All right, never mind. Hey, everybody, how the heck is everybody? Hope you all are doing great. My Saturday started off extremely busy. I got to the store and actually had a line waiting outside of some of my regulars who were coming to see me, and I had to unload a bunch of stuff from my car. So I locked a few of them in the store while I went and did that, which they're good people, so I trust them. But it was like boom, 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 one after another, people just coming in, and that's always fantastic. All right, let's check in on the chat and see who all's here. Sarah's here. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Says good evening, friends, and Avery and Andrew. Thank you so much. She also says, "Happy Veterans Day," and thanks to all those who serves. Absolutely, to everybody out there who has served or has family members who have served. Thank you, because everybody knows when you serve, your family serves with you. So it's not just my dad who served in the Navy. It's my mom who supported him and served as well. I mean, she wasn't actually in the Navy, but she took care of two kids with a husband who was out to sea a lot. So they do a lot of work too. So thank you to everybody out there who's a veteran or has a veteran in their life. Tim says, "Good evening, everyone from Western Kentucky." Welcome, Tim. Welcome. Jim R says, "Good evening and all happy Saturday." Thank you, sir. Sarah says, "Hello from Connecticut." Very cool. Darlene's here. Hey, Darlene, how's it going? Good evening from North Hampshire. New Hampshire. Sorry. Glenn's here. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? Says, "Must have been 30 plus dead air calls yesterday and today." I'll have to double check my phone, but I got dozens and dozens of calls today while at the store, which is unusual. Saturday's usually like the slowest day of the week for me, and I may get a few spattering of calls on Sunday. But today it was just like one after another, and I didn't catch them all. I didn't answer them all. There was a couple I did answer. There's one particular one that is hilarious, and I'll have to share with you guys later. I may actually make it into a video, a bonus video for tomorrow. But it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you guys what happened. Sarah says, "Any good scam calls this week? I'm dying to get even one. Haven't gotten one in ages." Really? Wow, you're very lucky then. Dave's here. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Says, "Hello, Drew. Welcome to the show." Manuel, welcome, my good friend. Hello, my good friend Drew. Happy Saturday. Absolutely. Tara's here. Hey, Tara, how's it going? Hey, Tara, got a couple of what ifs set aside for you. So next time you're in, okay? And I got a few. I've literally got 3 boxes here that I just bagged and boarded. I have not put in the inventory yet, but there's a whole bunch of really good crap in here. So next time you're in the store, okay? B Bernie B says yes. Well, thank you, thank you. Hold on a second. Avery's here. Let me bring him in real quick. Hello, good sir.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm alright.
You awake?
Yeah, barely.
Okay. Okay. I got home from the store this evening, had dinner with the wife, looked at the clock, and it said 7:10, and I said, "Ooh, I can sneak a half hour nap in. Let me go do that." Sometimes it's good, but it also is bad because when it's time to wake up, you really don't want to get back up. So luckily, I didn't go asleep. I didn't go snoring asleep, but yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I will sleep very well tonight. That's what I'm looking forward to. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Tim says, "Hello, Andrew. Thank you, Tim. Welcome to the show." Manuel says, "Hiya, Dave. Saturday night." Dr. Des says, "Good evening, everyone." Pink hand waving. Manuel says, "Hey" to Tim. Andy's here. "Hey, Andy, how's it going?" Says, "Hey, guys and ladies, tomorrow is my B day." Well, fantastic. Well, happy early B day then, sir. Hope you have a wonderful one. I really think it's awesome when your birthday lands on a weekend, and maybe you're off from work already as it is, and that's a good thing. I think my birthday, I got to double check. I think my birthday is like a Friday this year. And I may have to use up some vacation time because you know what? 24 Fridays left. Oh, I'm so excited. Dave says, "Hello, Manuel. Happy Saturday night." Manuel says, "Dr. Def, good evening." Sarah says, "Happy birthday to Andy." Manuel says, "Hey, Andy. Happy Saturday." Smidgen says, "Hi to each and every one of you." Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Manuel says, "Happy birthday to Andy." Glenn says, "When they ask for your social, tell them it's Facebook and Instagram." It was part of the gag that I was doing on this one lady, but I asked her if she'd ever seen the John Wick movies. And she was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And I'm, "Oh, freaking A, you don't live in the States. Screw you. There's no way you live in the States if you don't know who John Wick is. I mean, come on."
Yeah. Isn't today's Todd's birthday?
It is. It is. I did text him this morning.
Yeah, I texted him a little while ago.
Yep. I don't know if he'll join. He's probably doing stuff with the family,
Yeah.
which is good. Jim B says, "Good evening to Manuel." Manuel says, "Smidgen, happy Saturday." English Jill says, "Are you calling scammers or just queuing A?" I'm not calling anybody. I don't actually, English Jill, I don't actually do outbound calling. All the calls that I get, almost 99.9% of the calls that I record and share with you guys are them calling me. Them calling me. I honestly don't necessarily have time to do like call flooding and stuff like that. All my calls are them calling me, which sounds crazy, but it's true. So I had people comment on some of my videos like, "There's no way this guy gets this many calls all the time." Oh yes, absolutely. But no, we're not calling anybody right now. Actually, we could call James, but I think the last time we called him at 8 o'clock at night, at his time, it was like 5 in the morning, and he was still sleeping. So he may not pick up the phone if we try calling him.
That's what made it funny.
I know. Manuel says, "Good evening to Jim." Jessica America here. "Hello, welcome to the show." Says, "Hi, I'm new to your channel. Watch some of your videos. Very well done. Getting these jerks. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, Jessica." Sarah says, "My dad was a colonel in the army." Oh wow, fantastic. My dad, I don't remember. I know he was a master at arms in the Navy, and I think he was a chief of some type. I was really, I'll be honest with you, I never got into any of his military stuff because I really didn't pay attention. He was just my dad. One of the things that was kind of cool about him, and it was years and years later, when we were stationed in Pensacola, if you asked me what my dad did for a living, I would tell you he works with the lady that has the drug dog, the drug sniffing dog. So he worked with the MPs and so forth. And turns out after he retired, he went back to work for the Navy, and he went into the legal department. And he was like, he would tell you he was a legal secretary, but he really wasn't. He was more involved than that, but that was kind of what his position was. But when we lived in Pensacola, I knew he worked with the lady who had the drug sniffing dog, and I thought that was awesome. It was years. I think I told you the story, Avery. It was years and years later. We were talking about the subject of guns. Pew pews came up, and my mom was like, "Yeah, your dad carried a gun, and he brought it home every single night, took it into his room, and put it in a locked box in the closet. And neither me nor my sister even knew he carried a gun. We had no idea, no clue whatsoever." And he had to be proficient at it because he was issued one, so he's had experience with. But we never knew. We knew nothing about that. It was just crazy. It was just not something that either one of us cared about, and not something he shared with us. Crazy, huh? And I lived with the damn man for what, 18, 19 years, and I never knew. Never knew. But anyway, that's my dad's story. Let's see what else going on here. Manuel says, Veterans Day, happy Veterans Day, absolutely. Dr. Seth says to Manuel, hello, everyone in the chat, hand pink waving. Manuel says, good evening to Sarah. Let's see what's next. Manuel says, hello to Darlene. B. Bernie B says, good evening from Long Beach. I think he's trying to say Long Beach, but yeah, one too many letters there. Colo Radio says, g'day, Andrew. I sent you a request via the store contact system. Did you see it? I'll have to double check. Honestly, I haven't checked anything in the emails today, but I'll have to double check, and I'll take a look at that. Manuel says, hello, happy Saturday to Colo Radio. Maria's here. Hey, Maria, how's it going? Says hello. Says hi. Jim says, my dad was a military police officer in the Army. Very cool. Very cool. Manuel says, good evening to Avery. Happy Saturday. Nigella's here. Hey, Nigella, how's it going? Diwali Festival in India going on big like Christmas. Yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. How is Diwali one day or is it many days? Like what is the Jewish one? I know I'm messing. The 8 days. Hanukkah. Yeah, Hanukkah is 8 days, right? Christmas is 1. Hanukkah is 8. Is Diwali more than 1 day, or is it just 1 day, or is it a season? You know, I don't know. Somebody out there would know.
I would have no idea.
Jim says good evening to Avery.
Hello.
Manuel says good evening to Maria. Darlene says good evening to Manuel. Smidgen says my B-day is next Saturday. Fantastic. Oh, there's a lot of fall birthdays going on here. October, November, and December. That's awesome. Manuel says good Saturday night to Nigella. Tim says I watched your quarterback on the Manning brothers on Monday night. Too funny. Okay, I've got to check out this show, the Manning Brothers show. What they're doing. I've had 2 or 3 people reference stuff that's happened on that show, and I've never actually seen it. I've seen clips on YouTube. There was like the best of the Manning brothers from like the past Saturday or past Monday or something, but I've never actually watched the show. I'm gonna have to go check it out because I hear so many people talking about it. It's a football thing, Avery, so I know you wouldn't be interested, but Peyton Manning's hilarious. I think he makes great commercials. So if they're doing live broadcasts during the football games, and they bring in different people and they talk to different people and they just have a good time and screw around and have fun. So I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Sarah says, happy Saturday to Manuel. Sarah says, what about James? Oh, I have not heard from him probably since the last time I had him on the phone when he called and I live streamed it. So it's been a long time. I hope he's okay. I mean, I'm sure if he needed money, he'd reach out to me. You know, he'd at least let me know, you know. But I'm assuming if he's not, he's doing okay. So we'll see. Manuel says to B. Bernie B, happy Saturday. Darlene says, I'm making a cake tomorrow in memory of my daughter. She was born in 1987. Oh, wow. A cake. Okay, what kind of cake? Vanilla, chocolate. Come on, you got to give us some details, Darlene. Manuel says, today was my great-nephew's birthday. He's 2 years old. Fantastic. Bertha says, hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Bertha says hi to everybody. Sarah says, wake James up. I don't want to do that. That's kind of mean. But it is something I probably need to do sooner or later. Manuel says, hello to Berths. Sarah says, my aunt served as a wave in the service. As a wave? What is a wave? Glenn says, my dad was a veteran in the Army at Pearl Harbor when it was attacked. Oh, wow. Thankfully, he was on shore. Otherwise, I might not be here. Thanks, Dad. Oh, wow. I think my dad told me initially when he joined the Navy, it was during the time when the draft was happening. And he said he didn't want to wait to find out if he was going to be drafted. So he went ahead and signed up. And he thought probably one of the safest places to be, which in retrospect is totally insane. Being in the Navy at any point in time during war is great. But he was stationed on a submarine. And his first station was a submarine. And he figured that'd be the safest place to be instead of being out in the thick of it. But it was still one of those things that was very, very stressful and hair-raising and life-threatening. And yeah, that's I'm like, Dad, you know that? Okay, but that's what he did. He was on a submarine, which is kind of cool too. Manuel says hello to Glenn. Coolio Radio says it was about a week ago. Really, a week ago? Damn. I really do try to stay up on these things, and sometimes things get by. I'll double check it, okay? Nigella says 2 days. Okay. Darlene says, my father's stepfather was a captain in the Army for 30 years. My father and 2 brothers were in World War II also. Wow. Well, if they're still around, thank them for their service. If not, we definitely appreciate it. Smidgen says, my dad learned his sheet metal skills on a carrier during Korea. Wow, that's kind of cool. Tim says, if only they could call all football games. Yeah, they'd have to. That'd be almost impossible since a lot of games happen all at the same time. But it would be cool. Darlene says, chocolate cake with white icing. Fantastic. That sounds wonderful. All right. My wife, she worked in a bakery. She was an assistant manager at a bakery, and she's been working on different frostings in preparation for my daughter's wedding because she's going to be making, I think she's making both cakes. I know for sure one of them, but she's been working on different frostings, different ways like fondant and there's another kind of frosting, and she got to let me taste test some. She got some sugar cookies and put different kind of frostings on them, and I'll be honest with you guys, they were all fantastic. But she's like, I want to pick something that, number one, looks good, number two, will last because it's got to be out during the day. The wedding is outside, but everything else I believe is inside, so she's not worried about the heat. But this is Florida in the middle of April, so she's got to be concerned about that. So she was testing different flavorings, different colorings of frosting, and she's got jars filled with all different types of frosting. And if you guys think I'm a fat ass now, just wait till after we're done testing all those frostings. Oh, Avery, you're supposed to laugh. Avery, are you there? Okay. Thank you, straight man. Manuel says, Manuel says, I watched college football, Florida versus LSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana tonight. Oh, Florida's playing. Okay, cool. I'm going to have to go for Florida just simply because it's Florida. Not that I care. Black Sheep of the Family says, the end is nigh. Oh, okay. People have been saying that.
The end is high.
The end is nigh. I got it.
Nigh.
I
Nye.
got it. Yeah. Sarah says, a wave is a nurse. Really? I don't think I've ever heard of a nurse referred to as a wave, but I guess I could see that. Very cool. Well, thank you. Thank her for her service. Absolutely. Manuel says, good evening, black sheep of the family. Happy Saturday night. Sandra's here, says a wave is a female in the Navy. I think, okay. Black sheep of the family says, evening, Manuel. The end is nigh. I think he's got a thing going. Smidgen says, my baby turned 47 this last week, and my B-Day that makes me feel, it's his B-Day that makes me feel older. Oh, ain't that the truth? My oldest just turned 30. I am the parent of a 30-year-old man. If you guys can believe that. Do I look like I actually
Yes.
hey,
Yes, you do.
Shut up. Not asking you. You were there for the beginning. There was a lady that came into the store, and we were talking about, I don't know what we were talking about. It had something to do with kids. And she had some kids. She had some very young kids. And I mentioned that, yeah, my son, my oldest, was turning 30. And she said, what? She says, would you start having children the day you were born? And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet of you. But no, I did not.
No, you were still legally an adult, but still kind of a kid.
One of us was.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm so bad. She was an adult when Michael was born. Let's put it that way.
Groomer.
She was officially adult when he was born, and we were married. So yeah. But so bad. Bill says, glad I caught your live feed. Well, welcome, Bill. Absolutely. It's a wonderful Saturday night. Glenn says, Betty wasted 20 minutes with U.S. healthcare scammers today. Fake Medicare number, address to local PD. My doctor was Theodore Giselle, Dr. Seuss. Gave them phone number for Celsium clock at NOAA in Boulder, Colorado. Fantastic.
That's funny.
Birth says, I was in the Army marching band. Oh, okay. Excellent. My dad was actually, he was in the marching band in high school. He did it in high school. I don't think he did it further than that. He gave me his clarinet. And I joined band for 1 year. And then after I finished that year, we moved like every 2-3 years. And we moved, and I went to the new school. I said, do I have to take band? And they said no. And I said, okay, good. I don't want to. I hated band. Band sucked. Especially when you forgot your instrument at home.
This one time at band camp.
Yeah. I've heard that story before. But I never went to band camp. I never was dedicated enough to go to band camp. Let's put it that way. Manuel says, good evening. Happy Saturday night to Bill. Kodiak's here. What's up, Kodiak, my friend? He says, finally. Is that finally for me or finally for you? Finally you were able to type something, or finally I'm live? Actually, I was on time. 8:01. I hit that button at 8:01.
That's late.
Yeah. And he only left this message 5 minutes ago, so I'm not that far behind on my chat. I'm catching up. Darlene says, my sister Patty makes character cakes. She also made our wedding cake in 1986. Very good. My wife used to make wedding cakes for her job, for her work. And she also made a few cakes for relatives or friends who had large events. And I remember this one cake she made. It was just covered in flowers. It looked like it was like Thanksgiving threw up all over a cake because it was all orange and beautiful, and it just gorgeous. It was probably one of my favorite cakes that she ever made.
I remember gorgeous. Good.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that works.
A cornucopia just exploded on top of the cake. But the thing about it was I helped her deliver it, and that was kind of cool too. I got to help her do that. But I got to see if she still has any of those old pictures, because she used to take pictures of every cake she finished. I remember one she made that had seashell. I forgot who it was for, but it had seashells all over it. And she made hard chocolate seashells, but they were all in different, like, aquatic colors, like blue and all. It was kind of, I think that might have been her sister's cake. I'll have to ask her. She'll know. But yeah, she did that a lot. That's awesome. Smidgen says, births, that's cool. I was in high school marching band. There were 8 steps at every 10 yards on a football field. LOL. That's funny. I'd always be afraid of running into somebody because I'd quickly lose track of where I was. Sarah says, unfortunately, she's deceased. Okay, I understand. Sorry to hear that, Sarah. Bill says, my dad and brothers are veterans. I was 15 when the Vietnam War was going on. I grew up missing a lot of wars. That's the same for a lot of us, I think. Tim says it's in a park in Henderson, Kentucky. They put up over 6,000 crosses for our heroes that passed for Memorial Day. So moving to roam through them. Wow, that's very cool. That's very cool. That's a nice thing to do, to remind people of how many people actually have given up their lives for their country and for the people of this country. Wow, I can't. 6,000 crosses. I can't even imagine that. That's a lot, I think. Do you have pictures, Tim? That'd be cool. Manuel says, good evening to Arthur, which would be Kodiak. Bill says to Manuel, pink hand waving. Tim says, my kids are over 50. Now, I hate saying it, but it makes you feel old, doesn't it? Jim says, good evening to Bill. Black Sheep of the Family says, the end is nigh. I think he's stuck on repeat. That's okay. Bill says, darn, I miss Curly's grandson's live stream. Curly's grandson? Is he talking about the Mannings again? Possibly. I don't know. Birth says, I got a Medicare scam call this morning. She said she was from Miami, Florida. I asked her if she's celebrating Veterans Day. She said, what's that? That's sad. Bill says to Jim, pink hand waving. Bill says, I had to carry the French horn for 3 miles to school. So I rode the bus. When I had my clarinet, I rode the bus. And the bus driver, and it happened a few times where I left it at home. And I had to yell at the bus driver, stop! And I had to run. It was the pickup for the bus was literally like in our backyard because we were on base housing. And I had to run across the park, go into the back door and get my clarinet. And there were a few times in which I forgot it completely. You'd think carrying that damn thing around every day, you wouldn't forget it, but I forgot it and got in a lot of trouble. Bill says, horn.
Because subconsciously you wanted to forget it.
I did. Oh, I absolutely did. Kodiak says, invite me. Well, maybe. Hold on a second. Kodiak, do I even have your email? Hold on a second real quick. Let me check. Ooh. This means he's not working, so that's a good thing. How often does that happen?
Not very.
Yeah, I know. Usually he's working when we do our live streams nowadays. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, he's going to make me go to Twitter, isn't he? Oh, nope. Wait a minute. I think I got it. All right. I'm going to quickly send him a link. And then I'll get caught back up on the chat again. All right, guys. Manuel says, wow, Bill, awesome. Darlene says, Dad died in 2009 at age 85. Wow. Gotta love it when people... I'll be happy to see 65. That's my goal, 65. But 85, that's awesome. Craig says, like button, please. Oh, yes, I always forget about that. Manuel says, good evening to Craig. Tim says, I do have many pictures. They add more crosses each year. Oh, wow. Now, Tim, is this something that stays up all year round, or is it something that they put on or they do in preparation for Memorial Day, or does it stay up all the time? That'd be interesting to know that. Craig says, hello to Manuel with a smiley face. Brent's here. Hey, he says, just found your show today. Well, fantastic. Thank you, Brent. Thanks for joining us. Smidgen says, I get no sympathy from my mother for having an old child. Mom will be in the 90s in January. Will be 90. I almost said 90s. I got the weather stuck in my head. Mom will be 90 in January. Wow, very cool. Bill says they need to look up Curly's grandson for real. Okay. Glenn says final expense scammer called today. I asked them if I could expedite my coverage because I had a loaded gun in my. Ooh. What did they? I did that once to one. I was like, hey, I really need to get this coverage right now. I mean, I need it now. Brent says, question, do you agree with whatever the scammer says? Example, you agree to living in Florida, age, disability status, etc. Yep, pretty much. When they call and they say, hi, can I speak to this person? I always, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's me or not, says, I just say yes. Yep, that's me. They say, is this your address? And I say, yep, that's my address, even though I've never heard of it before. Kodiak says, where, Drew? What do you mean, where? I just sent you the email. Let me see. Hold on a second. I sent it via email. Goodness gracious, he's going to make me look this up, isn't he? Manuel says, good evening to Brent. Tattle's here. Hey, Tattle, how's it going? Says, got an interactive scam call this week from an accident claim. After I answered the questions, I heard end of recording. A few seconds later, I was disconnected without speaking to a human. Ooh, that's kind of foreboding. Smidgen says to Craig, thanks for the reminder to hit the like button. Absolutely. Thank you, Craig. He says, smiley face to Smidgen. Jim says, got the Comcast scam Wednesday. They wanted to update my boxes for money. Yep. I don't use Comcast. I told them I gave them the boxes to the junk truck. That's good. Tattletale says a Medicare scammer called me on election night. I asked if he voted. He said he did. When I asked him who he voted for, he hung up.
I can send the link to Kodiak on Twitter.
I just did. Oh well, hold on. It's a 1311 at Gmail is the email I sent it to. That's the last email I have for him. So that's not the whole email address, but he'll recognize it when I say it. All right, let's see here. Manuel says good evening to Tattle, and Glenn says I gotta increase the size of this. I can't read it. Sorry guys, old man eyes here. Says mom lived to 93. She used to deliver the mail for the Air Force on a 3-wheeled Cushman scooter at Laudry Air Force Base in Denver. In a way, she served too. Well, that's fantastic. Wow, Glenn, that's kind of cool. Smidgen says, yes, she does, Glenn. Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys a quick story. This is not one that got recorded, even though I probably should have recorded it. My mother-in-law, who was on a cruise last week, came back home. She came back home Thursday night, and Friday, she spent the day checking her email, okay? Which is often a very dangerous thing. Oh my God. There's some people in this life who should not have technology. My mother-in-law is definitely one of those. So I'm sitting in the office doing work, and the home phone rings. And I pick up the phone. I don't even look at it to see who it's calling from. I just answer it. Just simply because she gets so many scam calls, I just do it. Oh, Kodiak's here. Let me bring him in real quick. What's up, man?
Hey, you guys, let me know if my mic is too loud.
It's a little scratchy, but we can live with it. We can work with it.
I have a fan on. It's iPhone.
All right. Well, mute yourself so I can get the static out while I finish telling this story.
What's up,
Shit,
man?
how do I can
I'll just mute him. All right, so I'm sitting here working, doing my thing, and the phone rings. And like I said, I just answer the phone. I take all the calls, no matter whether they're legitimate or not. Probably with the home phone, it's 50-50. 50% of the time it's a scam. The other 50% of the time it's actually a doctor's office or a friend of hers or somebody calling and she wants to talk to her. That's not a big deal. And I just I answer the phone. Well, it was a foreign guy, of course, so I immediately was on guard. And they said, "Hello, we just received a call from you after we sent you an email." And I'm like, "Freaking A, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. You got to give me more information than that." And then he told me he was from Norton, but he had such a thick foreign accent that I could not tell what the hell he was saying. So I had him repeat it like 3 or 4 times and still didn't understand what he was saying. But then he said, "We just got a call from you from this number in regards to an email that was sent." I'm like, "Oh, freaking A, let me go find out what this is about," because it's my mother-in-law, right? So I get up and I go into her office where she's at, sitting in front of her computer. And here's the funniest thing. I walk into her office, and the very first thing she says to me is, "I think I did something bad." I think I did something bad. I'm like, "Okay, crimey. What did you do?" Well, she shows me that she got a email from quote unquote Norton saying that her bill was either past due or whatever. Now, when she got this new computer, which was more than a year ago, she did not extend her Norton services. She actually canceled it. We told her cancel it because you're not going to need it. But she got an email saying your services were need to be paid, and it was like a $700 bill. It was some crazy amount, and I'm like, "Frickin' A, let me see what this is about." So I look at the email, and I still got this guy on the line. He's still sitting on the phone waiting, right? And I look at the email, and the first thing I notice is that the email address is somebody with a whole lot of consonants in their name at Gmail. It doesn't say at Norton or whatever. It says Gmail. And I'm like, "Frickin' A, that's like a huge red flag right there when it's a quote unquote email from a business and it's coming from somebody's personal Gmail account." Okay. The other thing was all the information in regards to the bill that was past due was not in the email. It was a PDF file that she had to open. And it said, "Your account's past due, blah, 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 this, blah," and there was a telephone number at the bottom, which she, of course, called from the home number. And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my freaking!" Not that they don't already have our number, not that every scammer in the world doesn't already have our number, but she literally called and gave it to him again. And I'm listening to this guy on the because he's still trying to talk to us. I had the phone away from me, and it's obviously he's some foreign guy in some foreign call center. And I'm looking at this email, and I'm like, "Does any of this sound legitimate to you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I thought about that after I called. That doesn't sound very." Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, jeez." So of course we had to go check her bank account, make sure there was nothing happening there. Because I asked her, I said, "Did you give them any information on the phone when you called them?" And she said, "No, I didn't give them any information." I go, "Okay, I hope not." And I don't know how she falls for it, but she falls for these things all the time. The thing that gets her, and I don't know if this is an older generation thing, the ones that get her attention are the ones that say your bill is past due or your bill is late or you haven't paid your bill. She gets very concerned about that. Even if it's a company that she doesn't even have service with, she gets concerned about it because in her mind, being late on a bill is the worst thing she could do. And when she gets those emails, she's clicking the link or calling the number or trying to figure it out and take care of it and straighten it out. And I'm like, "Oh, woman." But that's my mother-in-law. I love her. But she's out of town again. She's actually, she went with my sister-in-law out of town to someplace. I want to say Boca, but it's not Boca. It's the other way. It's west. It's like around Pensacola. Where is it she's going? I forgot already. Anyway, she's out of our hair for a little while longer.
I haven't done Amazon since the divorce, and
yeah,
for some reason, Amazon scams cross my radar like red flags now. Because of which, there's so many things on my phone that they come through. They come through like legitimate. You have a package that is supposed to be delivered today, but it's not being able to be delivered. And I know it's immediately I know it's a scam.
Yep.
And I think of you, and I'm like, God, how can I can send this to Andrew so he can use it? I don't know how. Because I know I haven't ordered nothing from Amazon since my divorce.
I guarantee it's for some type of Apple iPod or Apple product, and it's being shipped to someplace in Albany, New York.
See,
And
you're
yeah,
starting to become a master on this shit. You're starting to.
They've used those lines, that script, so often. It's despicable. They don't update that script. It's crazy, but they don't. They've used it for years. It still works on some people, absolutely. But the Amazon, what's so funny is nowadays when I get the Amazon one, I get to a live person and I say, "Hi, I got this message about an order that I placed. I don't know what this is about. Can you give me more detail?" And they there's a pause, and then they hang up because they know I'm going to screw with them. They know I'm effing with them.
What's funny isn't the scams anymore. It's the legitimate calls. I get a legitimate call from my kid's school, and I think it's a scam because of all this bullshit. And I'm then studying Misfit Corner, so I'm just ready for scam calls.
I don't know if some of a scammer would claim to be from your kid's school. That would be new. That would be new. So somebody calling claiming to be from your kid's school, I'm almost certain it is from them. That could be a devious scam. Call somebody up and say, "Hey, I'm calling from your kid's school." And of course, they don't know what school they go to. So they're just going to say your child's school. And we have a problem, or there's a bill that needs to be paid, or I need to get information from you regarding something. And wow, I haven't seen it happen yet, but I bet you that's one they could do.
Let's not give them ideas, because you've made enemies across the globe. Not just, you've stopped making enemies in just our state. Now you made enemies in the globe.
Kodiak, I had a guy today that I asked him, I said, "Why is it that the U.S. healthcare department always hires people with Indian accents?" And he got mad at me because I'm not Indian. I think he said he was Pan-American or Pan-Asian or something. I guess is how they want to be referred to, or some of them.
One of the funny things about your site is I can tell. So I like accents, and I have a lot of people in my Uber, real people, so I can hear accents a little better than you can. And sometimes when they're Korean, you will call them Afghanistan. There's one where you call a Korean guy Afghanistan, and he literally tells you you're racist. I think it's so funny. I think it's so funny that a scammer tells you you are a racist just because you're like, "Bro, what is this shit?" And but I
hilarious.
recognize.
I love it when they tell me that I'm the scammer, or I'm the person, I'm the bad person, I'm the a-hole, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
You cold called me. What's funny is because my little stint in car sales, there's a lot of shit I recognize, and I'm like, fucking Andrew's right. He's hitting all the notes. He's on the other. You're backlashing at these guys on all the right notes, and I'm like, damn, that is the script. So we thought we were legit.
There's so many scripts that I've heard so many times that even when I don't understand what they're saying to me, I know what they're saying to me. Even though you can't understand a word they're saying. Because sometimes these people have really thick accents, and they're just absolutely horrible at this job. But I know what they're saying because I've heard the script so many times. So, but oh well.
Have you seen any of my clients? Because I tell them all. I'm like, right in his comments, like, "Look, my Uber driver told me to sub."
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that yet.
You should. They're in your comments because they say they do it in right in my car. It literally several. I just crossed 1,700 Uber drivers, so I know I've had a lot.
Kodiak's gonna call me out on the fact that I am falling behind on reading my comments. You called me out. I've been doing a shitty job reading my comments on my videos.
Bro,
I try so hard to read them every day, but I get so backed up.
Shame. Avery, his whole live stream is reading every comment.
It is. It
He
is.
like his fan base is he loves this because it's good. It's
Uh-huh.
Well, we have a community, my friend. We really do have a community of people that all watch the videos, have experienced a lot of the same things that I'm sharing with them. They this is not like all of a sudden they're coming into this blind or coming into it with fresh eyes. They've all experienced this. I get people who've commented, I get like 20, 30 of these calls a day. Amen,
Yeah.
brother. You're right there with us. This is a community of
so
people who've been dealing
so
with this for a while. So,
so Uber has this thing where they I don't know how to word this, but
uh-oh.
they basically you're not going to get a tip, you're not, it's kind of robotic.
Mhm.
Basically the insurances have ordered your Uber. You're going
Right.
to get a person, they don't know you, you don't know them.
Right.
It's old school taxi. Uber has replaced the taxi. So you're driving to this old folks home, this hospital, or this
Mhm.
I can keep going. There's
Assisted
20
living.
different assistant living, all these guys.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what's the first thing I'm going to put on? Misfit Corner.
Ah!
Because and they hear it and they're like, I got these calls. I'm like, this guy's local. Sub to his channel. He's a YouTube. They love it. They're
Nice.
like,
That's cool.
you
That's
are
cool.
their Mr. Beast.
Ah!
That's great.
It is.
I have a customer that comes in. He usually comes in looking for movies, and he comes in. He says, "Hey, I heard your latest video. That was fantastic." This is what I said to him when they called, and he tells me what he does. we just we just have like a half-hour conversation of all the calls we got that week, and he does the same thing. Listen to the video, and then he does his own thing, and then tells me all about it. So yeah, there's people out there. That's cool. That's awesome. Well, hold on a second. I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. Just make sure I didn't miss anything really good. Bill says, I have to wash dishes. Being a bachelor, I am. Okay. That was a little while ago. Hopefully, it was about 13 minutes ago. Hopefully, it didn't take that long to wash the dishes. But if he did it by hand, Tim says it starts in early May, takes them about a week to let them up. Family puts like fake flowers at the base. A ceremony takes place on Memorial Day. A week later, they come down. They do it alphabetically. Oh wow, so that's a lot of effort. People go out there and put those crosses in for Memorial Day. Starts in early May. Wow. Bill says, I was married. Maybe I would still. He says, if I was married, maybe I would still be doing the dishes. Yeah, well, I do the dishes all the time. We have a dishwasher, so it's really needlessly saying loading and unloading. Darlene says, my husband's mother served too. She took the training to pilot a plane, but couldn't earn the wings because she was a woman. Really? Such discrimination back then. Now I can believe that. That's crazy. Tattle says, I got a final expense call during dinner. I asked if my doctor had called and said I was dying. My wife was listening and giggling. I wish it was my joke. It was my joke, but I was repeating a ploy from one of Drew's. Yes, that's true. I used to do that all the time. They kind of caught on to that and stopped and quickly hung up. But I kept asking them, did my doctor tell you to call me? Smidgen says a Facebook group had a member post about her new printer setup problem. There was no customer support phone number in the booklet, so I Googled, and the number went to a scammer who got into her computer. Oh, wow. You got that from Google, and it was a scammer number. You got to be careful with Google. They don't verify, it's whoever pays the most, and how when you do it, when you Google search anything, the first thing that pops up are ads for whatever it is you put in. You have to skip those ads. You got to go down further. And a lot of people don't realize that. And ads are paid for, which means they're not controlled by legit. They don't. That's not true. some of them can be whatever was paid for. You know, a scammer can pay for an ad on Google. There is nothing stopping them from putting ads on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and so forth. There's nothing stopping scammers from lying and putting out ads. My mother-in-law fell for one of those as well. Almost. I think she Googled, because she was going on a trip, luggage. And then when she went into Facebook, she got an ad that was like this really great deal on this set of luggage. And she tried to order it, and she asked me, she says, I can't get it to go through. And I said, what are you doing? She says, I'm ordering something from Facebook ads. And I'm like, well, who's the company? She goes, I don't know. Says, it Amazon? She says, I have no idea. And we pulled it up, and I'm like, you don't even know what the company is, and you're trying to put your credit card number in there. And then she says, well, I figured it was legitimate because it's on Facebook. I'm like, that's almost a scary statement.
Yeah.
As scary a statement as, well, I know something because I read it on Facebook. And she said that to me before. And then what was so funny about this example, Avery, she starts scrolling for her Facebook and she sees the same exact ad with a different company name. And she scrolled some more, same pictures, everything.
Yeah.
The same luggage with another completely different company name.
Yeah.
Kodiak's, it says device not connected. So we're going to see if he joins back.
Yeah.
All right, let's see let me check back in here. Tattle says she rarely laughs at my jokes. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Bill says, I am lost in the conversation now. Oh, goodness gracious. Birth says, earlier this week, I got a final expense scam and allowed them to transfer me to a fake info and wasted a total of 45 minutes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Jessica says, I get the UPS, you have a package all the time and winds up in the spam email. Yeah, I get so many of those, Jessica. I don't even look at my emails for scam messages. Same thing with my phone, for text messages. I get so many of them that just go to my scam or spam folder. I don't have time to even read them. Now, when a call comes in, if it says scam likely or suspected scam, oh, I'm answering that. Oh, please, yes. Give me those. I love those. Smidgen says, waste their time, Burst. Excellent. Absolutely. Bill says, is Avery talking? No, not right now, but he's here. Smidgen says, is Kodiak talking? He was.
He was.
Oh, he's back. Hold on a second. Bring him back in.
There he is.
There he is.
I was actually talking to my my roommate who has diabetes, and the second she went to get her insurance and everything, these phone calls start flooding in. Yep. And I told her that's exactly when I get these people who are going to these clinics, I give them Misfit Corner. So I'm actually was just telling her, like, total promo, total WCW style, WWF style.
The funny thing about the diabetes scammers, the diabetes supply scammers and so forth, there's a few very important things about those calls. Number one, they usually have no clue who you are. They don't know your name. They don't know anything about you. They call and they say, hey, are you a diabetic? You are? Well, then we can help you get diabetic supplies. And then you ask simple questions like, who referred you? Who asked you to call me? Was it my doctor? Was it in my insurance company? And then you find out, oh, no, we're just cold calling people. We're just calling people out of the blue and asking them a question. You know? They are despicable, horrible people. All right, hold on.
I love when you get angry. When you get angry, because Avery will attest to this. He's known you longer than me, but just as long as I've known you, you don't get angry. But every now and then you get testy.
Well,
and with these guys, you can actually see you were not ready for this call, and you're like, fucking bitch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Kodiak's such a bad influence, but there are times that I have gone off on a scammer and started. I had one the other day, and it's a group that calls, and they're despicable. It's the vacation group. You bought a vacation package years ago, and if you don't use it now, you're going to lose it and all this stuff. And I always ask them the simple questions. Well, who did I buy it from and when? Oh, we don't have that clue. We don't know nothing about that. We don't have any of that information. You're so full of crap. You're such liars. You try to convince people that they bought vacation packages, and if they don't use it, they're going to lose their money when they never bought anything, you know? But I went off on this guy so bad. Luckily, my mother-in-law wasn't home at the time. My wife was home, and she was in the living room, and she heard me yelling into the phone, and she actually came to check on me. Said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah." They pissed me off so bad, so bad. And a lot of those calls don't get made into videos. So I do lose my temper. I do go off on them, and
you need to go back through those calls because they're probably epic.
well, I had one. I don't know. I think I've told you guys about it before. Where my son was actually here visiting my wife, and I was in my office, and I was yelling at this guy. He just pissed me off so bad. And Mike came to the door, and when I was done with the call, he said, "Dad, do not release that video. You were." I said, I know, and the person deserved it, and I meant every single word I said. But he's like, "Yeah, Dad, but it makes you look horrible. It makes you look."
I agree with him.
And I said, okay. I said, okay, you're right.
Your son or your family members call you out on that, yeah, go with that.
Yeah.
Because they can hit buttons on us.
Yeah. Well, I don't like it first, but it's happened.
However, my son is trying to get into animation. He's trying to get into YouTube. He's got a station. I'm not going to promo it here. What I do is I promo you to him because of your work ethic. Because you are always uploading a video. You always have content. So I always say, because remember, my oldest son, he has a thing for Hero. He had a thing for you back in the day. So I'm like, look, and now, of course, because every teenager has a thing for a YouTuber, I'm like, look at Misfit, look at Misfit, look at Misfit. He's working. Because you
I said, just wait. Next year is going to be an interesting year. I think I got plans. Yeah. I got big plans.
Yeah.
So,
if you need an animator, put him to work. But the thing is, I will have to cut out. I won't be the middleman. But if you want some,
tell him I said hi and tell him to put out some videos, and we'll take a look.
He's got videos. I'll send them to you. But they're not ready for me to promote on this channel. But I'll give them to you. I'll give them personally to you.
All right. Well, let me catch back up on the chat real quick. Glenn says, tell them you have 2 kids that go to different schools. Which school is it? Oh, they would panic and not know. Frickin' A, they would have no idea. Manuel says, Kodiak, you are awesome. Scam baiting on the live stream. Jim says, Drew, thanks for your educating and updating viewers on how to deal with them. I was a physical therapist last week, and I told 7 people in the therapists of those scams. They did not know about it. I'm always surprised at how many people... One of the advice I give that I used to give all the time was when you get these calls, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. I was really surprised at how many people, they get these type of calls, they just hang up. They don't want to deal with it. They want to talk to them. They don't want to deal with it. And they don't know to what extent these people are trying, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to get you to fall for. And a lot of people who do fall for it, who do think it's legitimate, they don't realize if you just stop and think about it for half a minute and think about it fully, these calls are so full of crap. The ones I get the most lately that I have so much fun with are the ones claiming to be calling from my cable provider. I've got dozens of these calls, whether they claim to be from Spectrum or Comcast or Xfinity or whatnot. It doesn't matter. I don't have cable right now. I don't have an account with any cable provider, but they call me about my cable all the time. And if you pay attention, they always say, I'm calling from your cable company, or I'm calling from your electric provider. They don't know the name of the company. That should be the very first dead giveaway. And a lot of people, that goes right over their head and they're not thinking about it. They're not paying attention to realize this person's just making crap up. Be aware that that's what they're doing, But a lot of
I
people
love
don't know it because they'll hang up on the phone, and then one of these days they're going to get through, and all of a sudden they're going to panic because something's gone wrong, and they have to pay, the shipping fee of a new box. When, in honesty, none of that actually happens to happen.
I love that the word kayfabe has entered the mythos, because when every time that you're having one of these, I'm having a WWF moment.
Oh, okay.
You are calling them on their kayfabe. You're like, we're educated now.
Gotcha.
You're like the educator.
Well, what's funny about this is I get so many of the same damn calls that it gets very boring, and I from time to time I'll try to be creative. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I got a recording. I'm going to try to make it available for tomorrow, where I literally, the lady was calling about healthcare, and I told her that I'm a professional assassin, and that I'm offering a 2-for-1. I'm offering a 2-for-1 sale. So if she has an ex-boyfriend that she wants me to knock off, I'll do his current girlfriend too. And this lady, not only did she stay on the phone with me, she kept going with it. She kept trying to get information from me. And at one point I even told her, have you ever seen the John Wick movie? And John Wick movies? And she's like, no. I said, that was based on my life. That was I was the inspiration for those movies.
Oh, jeez. Get out.
Why would I lie to you? Why would I lie?
She bought it. I bet you she bought it. She bought it.
She held on a lot
Or
longer
at least
than I expected her to.
See, the thing is you're playing. They're all right. Kayfabe. They know that they're kayfabe, but they can't break their kayfabe because they don't know whether they should. See, this is what happened with me.
Trust me.
This is what happened with. Wait, this is what happened with me with selling cars when I was at Acura. I learned all this stuff, and for a moment, I was really, really pompous about it. This was my shit. I really believed in it, and then all of a sudden, I started, because I was learning Acura product, and I'm like, yeah, it's a great product. But then I looked at the dealership down the road, and it was a great product, and I realized they had the same rhetoric, and I realized, and then I kept getting a new desk manager, and he would give me the same rhetoric from the company he just came from. So I'm talking pro. This is pro stuff.
Right.
The stuff you're getting is pro stuff. They're sketchy.
Yeah.
But it's pro sales, bro. It's pro sales rhetoric. It's the same shit that I was taught by $1 million company. I was taught by Elliot, whatever this fuck his name is, and Acura, which is Honda's sell. Dude, I'm Hanania. You're in Jacksonville, so you know these guys. So I was taught by these guys. I was in Hanania's main office, so I saw him every day. So this is car sales. I'm just talking about sales.
If you think about it, being a scammer is very much like a salesperson. You have 100%. You have to convince the person they need something from you. They need to acquire something, or they need to protect something, or they need to stop something from happening. And it's about fear. Make you afraid that you're going to lose something, or somebody's going to get something of yours. So give it to us instead, is really what they're doing.
Right.
And that's a lot of what it is they, you're running out of time. Medicare enrollment's happening right now. You need to hurry up and enroll if you haven't already. And we're going to help you do that. We're going to transfer you to a licensed agent, but we're going to listen into the call the entire time and take all your information down.
What I love about the people you encounter is the bullying tactics, which we're actually, we're counseled against. We're counseled against because American.
Yeah,
right.
Well, see, in their cases, they're like it's funny how quickly they'll run to. Well, if you don't give me this information, we're going to cancel your Medicare. We're going to. It's like, what are you talking about? You have the power to do that in any way whatsoever, But yeah, but that's the other part of fear is make you afraid that you're going to lose something.
Here's that balance. You see it in your friends. You see it in yourself when you are promoting something you agree with. Back in our comic days, we promote something we agreed with. We really purported, and we use those same tactics. These guys use those same tactics, but when you go off script, and I've noticed this with the people that you've encountered, they get bullying. They bully you, and no. We didn't say to answer that question. They try you, and what's so good about you is you're so Kevin, you're so Karen, you have this persona because they don't realize yet that you're messing with them.
All right, guys, I promise you I did not invite him on so he can kiss my butt.
No, absolutely not. No, this is Kodiak. I'm old school. I don't kiss ass, and Avery knows it.
Well, let me pause you for a little bit so I can catch up on the chat, because we ignored the chat for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Give me just a minute, because there's always some good stuff in here. Darlene says, now I'm getting the Temu email scam. I have never ordered from them. My wife has ordered from them in the past, and I'm not going to say the experience was flawless, but I don't necessarily know if it's a scam, because they have gotten the products they ordered. It just takes forever and a day to get them. So, because I think that's the one that ships from China, and they only ship out once they have enough orders of something. So it's not like Amazon where you can get it the very next day. But just remember, it's not coming from the US, so be careful with that. Smidgen says, I get two emails I got 2 Temu emails this week. Yes, that's a very growing brand of selling. Bill says, I think you lost your PG standings. Yeah, thanks, Kodiak, you dick. Birth says, 20
Bro,
minutes
did I
of
say any? I said cuss words.
Yes, you did. Many.
I was
many.
trying to behave myself.
Yeah, well, too late. So, okay. Burr says 20 minutes of it was a heart-to-heart talk with a licensed agent. I explained the scam to him, and he listened to me and understood everything I said, but he couldn't email me anything. Yeah, well, I've actually talked to licensed agent. I've told them, I said, do you realize that the person that transferred me to you is still listening on the line? And then we'll hear the click. Say, did you hear they just now disconnected? Do you realize what's happening, what they're doing, and using you as their way of doing it? And they don't really care. They really don't have time to care. Smidgen says, Kodiak, are you dissing Drew's fan base? No, he's not. Never. He never would.
No.
Manuel says, I still get emails from scammers every day. Yep, and you ignore them. I know you do.
In fact,
shut up. Let me finish reading the chat.
Hold on. No, wait. As an Uber driver,
I forgot. I have control here. I muted
as an Uber driver, I have a lot.
I'm going to kick you if you don't let me finish reading.
As an Uber driver, I have a.
All right, I'm kicking him for a moment. I know he likes to talk, but I gotta get through this chat, or we're going to be here all night long.
Yeah. This show's short, Kodiak.
Yeah, it's only an hour long, and we're already at hour 7. So, Darlene says, "This is okay, Drew. We are talking to each other on chat." Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. While we're talking, I'm ignoring the chat, and they're talking back and forth. So I got to catch back up with them. Smidgen says to Manuel, me too. I set filters for some of it so it goes straight to the trash. Good thing. Tattle says, I've noticed an increase of calls in which the calls end in about 10 seconds without any recording or live voice. I suspect it's scammers checking to see if the number is valid. That is absolutely 100% what I believe to be true. I've had somebody comment on one of my videos before, several comments, and where they've confirmed that. I don't know how valid it is, but they're testing the number. They're seeing if somebody actually picks up the number. They put a list of numbers into an auto dialer. It auto dials, and if it connects, they say, okay, this is a valid number. Call them later, scam them later. So, and I get a lot of those too, and I answer every single one of them. Sarah says, is Avery awake? Yeah, he was just letting Kodiak talk. Avery's good about that sometimes. He just lets us go. Manuel says, me go straight to trash. Yes, very good. Pez is here. Hey, Pez. Sorry I missed your text earlier. Says, good day, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Absolutely. Tim says, I've told my wife never to buy anything from Facebook. Our credit cards got compromised. I could believe it 100%. Got to be, because anybody can advertise something on Facebook. Facebook doesn't care. they're getting paid either way. So scammers advertise as well. Manuel says, good morning to Pez. Smidgen says hi to Pez. Pez says, good day to Manuel. Manuel says, I'm doing good on the Saturday night. Pez says, good day to Smidgen. Manuel gives a bunch of thumbs up and football symbols. Charlie 34, sorry, can't read numbers tonight, says, hi, I'm from Auckland, New Zealand. Your channel is really awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I got a New Zealand watcher, man. That's awesome. Thank you, sir. Manuel says, I enjoy your video this morning. Fantastic. Manuel says, good evening to Charlie. Manuel says, Spectrum is really for internet service and used mobile. Yeah, I don't even think Spectrum is even offered in this part of town, to be honest with you. Yeah. My niece was telling me she had Spectrum, but she lived in Tampa at the time. But in North Florida, I don't know anybody that has Spectrum. I honestly don't even know if it's available here, but they call.
Yeah, because the scammers doing it don't know where it's available.
Yeah. Manuel says, smiley faces. Sarah says, good night, all. Sarah, take it easy. Thanks so much for joining. Pez says, good day to Drew, Kodiak, and Avery. Smidgen says, I made a car salesman cry once. Didn't try to BS me, Sonny. Very good. Tattle says, I've tried telling cable scammers I'm having problems with my service. Even though they asked if I'm having problems, they hang up without comment. Well, I got one of the cable service provider ones gave me a telephone number. So if you have any problem with your service, call this number. I don't think I've released the recording yet, but I actually called the number back and it was some healthcare hotline. Had nothing to do with cable. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That's funny. Manuel says, good night to Sarah. Enjoy your weekend. Pez says, good day to Charles. Smidgen says, I made a car salesman cry. Young punk thought I was going to buy his BS. My husband told him he'd messed up. Very good. Craig says, Smidgen, right on. Darlene says, we get calls that are trying to send a fax. Oh, geez, that would be so annoying. Smidgen says, Spectrum offers TV here in California. Okay. Birth says, can you quickly explain why some spoofed calls are dead and some real people are answering? Hold on a second. Can you quickly explain why some spoofed calls are dead and some real people are answering?
Calls, probably.
Yeah, Burst, I'm not really sure. One of the things I find funny, and I've gotten this several times lately, and I always ask him about it. Kodiak, I'll let you back in just a second, okay? I'm almost done catching up on the chat. The phone number that comes up on my phone is for an actual legitimate business, and they're calling claiming to be from healthcare or Medicare or whatnot. And I always call them out and say, why are you spoofing this business's number? Why are you? Because I get painting service and childcare service and all these different things. It's like, it's so obvious you people are disgusting, and that's just what they do.
Yeah, some numbers they just make up, and some they use a legitimate businesses or residents.
Or residents, absolutely. I think a lot of times they use numbers that they've called as the number they're calling from, because I've gotten return calls where somebody will call me back and say, hey, I just missed a call from this number. It's like, nope, sorry, buddy, wasn't me. Was a scammer, most likely. Anyway, Sarah says, thanks to Manuel. Manuel says, you're very welcome to Sarah. Charles gives thumbs up. Excellent, sir. Dennis is here. Hey, Dennis says, what's up? Late to the stream. Well, that's all right, Dennis. Well, we're wrapping up right now. So luckily, there's a recording. You'll be able to check it out. Please know that it's what's the not safe for work, NSFW or something. Kodiak got a little free, but that's okay. We love him. Charles says, what time were you at the 3:14 p.m.? It's 3:14 p.m. there. Well, it's 9:15 p.m. we're at right now. So you're a little bit, you're ahead of us, I believe. You're ahead of us into the next day. Manuel says hello to Dennis. Pez says good day to Dennis. And last but not least, Dennis says, I will. Okay, excellent. Oh, and Jim chimes in and says 9:15 on the East Coast, New York. Okay, excellent. Guys, thank you so much for joining us again. I know we went a little off the rails, but then again, sometimes that happens. Just a reminder, we got videos coming every day. I'm committed to making videos every day. This will be 2 years in a row. By the end of this year, it'll be 2 years in a row
Nice.
of daily videos every single day. And I appreciate everybody who comes in and checks out the videos, and everybody who joins the live stream. You guys are fantastic. Every Saturday night I get home, I'm ready to go to bed, but no, I got a live stream because I got an audience who I absolutely adore and I appreciate immensely. So I thank you guys for chiming in. Remember, if you ever get calls like I do, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. And if you do screw with them, record it and share it with other people. So screw and share.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Hope you all have a fantastic week and look forward to what's coming next, okay? Take it easy, everybody.
Boy.